Alright, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna just get right into it. I went to a Detroit Lions game the other day, and of course, they showed Eminem on the big screen, him and Haley sitting next to each other. And that was cool because he's always there. So I didn't think anything of that. Okay, so like after the game's over, I'm like in the back of the stadium getting in my car, just public parking, but I see like a big group of people like kind of hovered around this like big like a blacked out Mercedes Sprinter type van that you see like celebrities in and stuff. So everybody was like there's a big crowd around it, and couldn't really see what was going on. So as I'm leaving, traffic was slow, so I kind of stopped. And I was like, what's everybody around that big van for? They're like, oh, that's Eminem, that's Eminem. So I was like, whoa, cool. And keep in mind, we're in downtown Detroit. So when that Sprinter took off, it was ahead of me. It was maybe 10, 15 cars ahead of me. And like when I rolled down my window and I asked, like, who was that? Who was that? They're like, that's Eminem. So like, I don't have anything else to do, so I'm gonna follow that car. So I followed them. I had to wait. I had to wait for the traffic to keep moving, but it was like less than a minute. I finally kind of, traffic was moving, and I could see the direction that black Sprinter went. So I keep following it. The game's over. I don't have anything else to do. So I'm following that Sprinter, driving towards it. It's a little ahead of me, like a couple minutes ahead of me. And I'm driving, and I start to see it in the distance. So I'm like, okay, so I speed up, and I'm staying a few cars back. Like, I'm not aggressive directly on it. So I stayed like maybe 10 cars back behind it. I didn't want to like blow my cover and get aggressive on it. Just playing it casual, keeping an eye on it, driving the same direction it was driving. So, and now we're probably 10, we're getting close, over 10 minutes outside of Detroit. So yeah, we're about 10 minutes outside of Detroit, and we're still just driving down this long road. I would say we're getting towards like residential areas. We're definitely not in the city anymore. And I just keep following it. I stayed a little bit back because by this time I was excited. I'm like, okay, this might be Eminem, especially since everyone said it was. So I'm following a little ways back, and we're getting kind of, there's like a few maybe little hills, and there's woods around us. So we're driving in like wooded area, and of course there's paved roads and stuff. But you pass a big house here. You drive for like 30 seconds, see another big house, but they're kind of like back in the woods. And this is when, and I'm not talking about Eminem's house that he built or he bought from the CEO who owned Kmart, because Eminem several years back, he moved out of that house because some Yahoo found out where he lived and like hopped his fence and actually like went up to his door and knocked on it, and he actually got charged and arrested and went to prison for it, because he went to Eminem's actual house and tried to meet him. Cops were called. That was a big old thing. That was right outside of Michigan. But M sold that house, and that's like public information. That dude got arrested and went to prison. But yeah, I'm not talking about that house, because he sold that a while back. That was a big, huge mansion from the guy who owned Kmart or whatever. But so like, I'm following him. I'm following this black sprinter, and you know we're like deep, kind of in the hills outside of Michigan. And there are like big houses scattered from here and there, and you can see them way back in the distance. Like you can tell there's a big mansion surrounded by the woods and stuff. You know, nice scenic nature type stuff. But yeah, I realized it because we got up to this, and keep in mind, I'm like I'm like a minute or two back, and there's like one or two maybe scattered cars ahead of me that are like, you know, there's still distance between us, but I could see a black sprinter. We go over a hill, and maybe a curve and twist, and I could still see the sprinter in the distance. But obviously they turned right. This big wide open huge gate opens up as I get closer, because he's slowed down, looking like he was pulling into his residence. And big gate opens, and obviously I slowed down. I wasn't going to get directly on top of his butt, you know, in the black Sprinter van. But there's like a big guard shack with like a guard there. And this big gate opens. And yeah, that's when I kind of realized it was Eminem. If those people up there hovering around their Sprinter said, that's Eminem, like leaving the stadium. And then that big gate opened, and like they pulled in there, and as I drove by slowly, that guard shack with like a obviously probably a 24-hour guard there. And that's when it dawned on me, like, holy crap. Like, Eminem doesn't live that far from me. So, wow. Yeah. I won't give out the exact location, because, like, that'd be sketchy, but wow. Yeah, Eminem doesn't live far from me, so wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say too much right now. I'm kind of still like in shock and awe. You know, but yeah. Whew. Yeah, it's like kind of surreal. Wow. Yeah, so I'm gonna just end the video right here. I may follow this up with a part 2, but yeah, just wanted to share that real quick. So all right, guys, peace.